Welcome to World Alert Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The night over Moscow was cold and clear just before 4 a.m. on October 25, 2025. The city seemed to hold its breath, wrapped in a fragile calm that felt almost unnatural. The city's famous lights painted the clouds orange as 12 million residents slept, unaware of the coming storm. The glow was beautiful, masking the danger that crept ever closer. Newsrooms were quiet, the city's heartbeat steady, until a strange, low hum broke the silence. It was subtle at first, almost easy to ignore, but it grew louder with every passing second. It was a sound that didn't belong, like a million angry insects approaching from the west. The hum vibrated through the air, unsettling and relentless. Social media lit up with blurry videos, faint, blinking lights moving in perfect formation across the sky. Within minutes, hashtags trended worldwide as confusion spread. Too low for planes, too many for helicopters, moving with eerie, unified purpose. The light seemed almost alive, weaving silently above the rooftops. Early workers and night shift guards looked up, confusion turning to dread. Some froze in place, others ran for cover, all gripped by a growing sense of fear. Air raid sirens wailed, echoing through grand avenues and apartment blocks. The city's warning system, rarely used, now screamed its alarm into the night. Phones buzzed. Air attack imminent. Seek shelter immediately. The message was clear, but the threat was unlike anything Moscow had ever faced. Panic rippled through the city as people rushed to windows, witnessing a menacing cloud of unknown objects. The sense of safety that once filled these homes vanished in an instant. This was not a conventional attack. No bombers, no missiles. The sky was empty, save for the relentless swarm. The headlines were being written in real time. Moscow under attack. Newsrooms erupted into chaos, reporters scrambling to make sense of the unfolding nightmare. Hundreds of drones strike the Kremlin. Explosions lit up the night, shattering the illusion of invincibility. The war, once distant, had come home. Families huddled together, fear etched on every face. The Kremlin's promise that war would never touch Russian soil was shattered by a swarm of unmanned aircraft. The heart of the nation was under siege. The illusion of safety evaporated in minutes. Streets emptied, and the city's spirit trembled under the weight of fear. The city, a symbol of strength, was now a target. Its landmarks, once proud, now stood vulnerable beneath the threat. Moscow's new reality had arrived. As dawn broke, the city faced a future forever changed. The objects in the sky were Ukrainian-made Lyuti, Fury, drones, their sleek forms slicing through the darkness with silent precision. But this was a new generation, smarter, faster, and more elusive than anything seen before. Over 250 units, launched from hidden sites across the countryside, traveled low and fast, hugging the earth to evade early detection by enemy radars. They moved as a single, distributed organism, a flying supercomputer with a shared consciousness, each drone aware of the others. Each drone, about the size of a large eagle, flew with a high-pitched whine, their navigation lights blinking in synchronized patterns that signaled their unity. Some climbed high as decoys, drawing attention and fire from defenders below, while others weaved between buildings with impossible agility, darting through urban canyons at breakneck speed. The swarm's software, perfected by Ukrainian engineers over countless hours, allowed constant communication and instant adaptation to changing threats. If one drone was lost, the others instantly adjusted, redistributing tasks seamlessly and closing any gaps in their formation. There was no leader, no central point of failure, just a headless, thinking weapon, impossible to disrupt with a single strike. Over 250 drones, each carrying a potent explosive payload, represented a saturation attack never before seen in modern warfare. Traditional air defenses were overwhelmed, unable to track or intercept hundreds of small, coordinated threats that seemed to come from everywhere at once. The storm had arrived, made not of rain or wind, but of circuits and steel, an artificial tempest unleashed upon the city. Moscow's defenses faced a new kind of enemy, one born from innovation, and as relentless as the storm itself. Russia's early warning systems weren't blind or broken. They were simply drowned in a tidal wave of data, overwhelmed by the sheer volume and complexity of incoming signals. Long-range radars picked up faint, confusing signals. Too slow for missiles, too numerous and erratic for birds. Operators struggled to interpret the anomalies, unsure if they were witnessing a glitch or a new kind of threat. By the time the true nature of the threat was recognized, the swarm had already penetrated deep inside Russian airspace, moving with purpose and coordination. In Moscow's fortified command bunkers, disbelief quickly turned to panic as hundreds of hostile icons suddenly flooded the digital map, each one representing a potential danger. The city's air defense network, Panzer S-1 and S-400 systems, sprang to life, operators scrambling to their stations. But they faced an enemy they'd never trained for, an enemy that didn't follow the old rules. The night sky erupted with cannon fire and missile launches, searchlights sweeping desperately, but for every drone hit, 5 more slipped past, undeterred and relentless. The swarm adapted instantly, scattering and weaving when targeted, sacrificing some units to clear paths for others, always pressing forward. Multi-million-dollar missiles were launched to destroy drones that cost only a fraction to build, a lopsided exchange that favored the attackers. The sheer volume of targets paralyzed automated defenses, their algorithms overwhelmed by unpredictable and chaotic patterns, leaving operators scrambling for solutions. Electronic warfare units tried to jam the signals, but the drones simply switched to inertial and optical guidance, continuing their advance with chilling precision. The Kremlin's shield, built for nuclear threats and massive bombers, was now being cracked by small, cheap, and numerous weapons, an entirely new kind of adversary. The defense wasn't failing in the traditional sense, it was being outsmarted, outmaneuvered by technology it was never designed to counter. For the first time in decades, Moscow's airspace was no longer secure. Its defenses left scrambling in the face of a new era of warfare. The first drones struck as defenses faltered. Explosions were precise, not massive, targeting key infrastructure. A major electrical substation was hit, plunging districts into darkness. The Ostankino Tower, Russia's broadcasting hub, went silent as drones destroyed transmission equipment. Internet and mobile networks were crippled by attacks on fiber optic junctions. Fuel depots erupted in fireballs, government buildings burned, and car alarms blared through the chaos. The swarm's targets were chosen to maximize disruption and fear. Fires lit up the night, visible for miles. One drone exploded near the Kremlin walls, a symbolic strike. This was not just an attack on infrastructure, but on Moscow's sense of invulnerability. The city was left deafened, blinded, and burning. In a Kyiv bunker, calm prevailed as Ukrainian planners watched the mission unfold. For them, the swarm was a single, elegant weapon. Years of planning realized. They monitored real-time feeds, tracking every strike and Russian response. In Moscow, chaos reigned. Commanders struggled with cut communications and contradictory reports. The distributed nature of the attack made it impossible to grasp the full scope. Civilians, trapped in darkness, listened to the battle outside, cut off from information. The psychological barrier between war and home was gone. The war was no longer distant. It was in their city, their lives. Moscow's nightmare had become Ukraine's calculated experiment. The true power of the attack lay in the drone's intelligence. Each was equipped with advanced AI, loaded with 3D maps and target lists. They weren't just following orders, they adapted in real time. When Russian jamming began, the drones switched to visual navigation, matching the cityscape below to their maps. The AI enabled cooperative behavior, sharing information instantly across the swarm. If a new threat appeared, the swarm rerouted or converged to overwhelm it. In their final moments, drones used object recognition to identify and strike precise targets. Even small explosives had outsized effects thanks to pinpoint accuracy. This was distributed, surgical warfare, powered by artificial intelligence. The battlefield had changed forever. As the physical attack subsided, a new assault began. Drones equipped with speakers descended, broadcasting the Ukrainian folk song Chervona Kalina over Moscow. The anthem of resistance echoed through the darkened city, a message of defiance. This was psychological warfare, designed to break spirits and undermine authority. Another wave of drones released thousands of leaflets, fluttering down on Red Square and beyond. The message was simple. This war has come to your home. Your government lied to you. For years, Russians believed the war was distant. Now, proof of their vulnerability lay in their hands. The attack bypassed censors, speaking directly to the people. Seeds of doubt and fear were sown in the heart of Moscow. The battlefield was now psychological as well as physical. Dawn revealed a wounded, shocked Moscow. Sirens wailed, smoke rose from a dozen sites, and large sections of the city remained powerless. Emergency responders were overwhelmed. The Kremlin scrambled to control the narrative. Official statements downplayed the damage, but the truth was visible everywhere. Videos and photos had already spread, shattering the illusion of control. The world watched in awe and alarm. A new kind of warfare had arrived. Defense ministries worldwide reevaluated their strategies overnight. For Muscovites, the sense of security was gone. The war was no longer on television. It was in their streets. The psychological impact was profound. Moscow's fortress had been breached. The October 25th attack on Moscow marked a turning point in warfare. Drone swarms moved from science fiction to battlefield reality, challenging old military paradigms. Small, intelligent, inexpensive drones achieved what once required massive air forces. The lesson: distributed, adaptive systems are the new power. An arms race began. Nations rushed to develop AI, counter-swarm tech, and resilient networks. The illusion of security by distance and strength was gone. The leaflet on Red Square symbolized a new era. The battlefield is everywhere, the threat from 1,000 directions. The world had changed overnight.